What a nice thing that we found out about.
Oh yeah, minimizes the editing a whole lot.
True that. But, I mean, to be fair, your videos aren't that hard to edit, so.
I mean, I do give you elbow room, plenty of elbow room to work with.
It's appreciated, don't misunderstand.
What's this? Dawson's misunderstanding? How dare he?
Alright, so I guess we got a lot to talk about. So first off, what's up, Dio? Sounds like a bunch of bravers.
There's a spot open in the chat over here in the PS4 deal. Feel free to join us. Don't be that guy in the chat in the peanut gallery like you usually are.
The peanut gallery is actually kind of helpful, to be honest with you.
As long as you're not RPing in my chat.
Yeah, anyway. So we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts just happened.
Again.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts just dropped the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, like, apparently like today or something like that.
I think it was earlier today or something. I have no idea what I'm doing with Rio. Okay, there.
Like, I woke up and like a friend of mine here actually was like, Kingdom Hearts dropped the trailer. I was like, what?
Let's see, there's a...
Go on.
Yeah, there's 3 things of Kingdom Hearts, because apparently with Kingdom Hearts they drop it. They have this weird rule of 3 whatever they do, because there's a 20th anniversary that's supposed to be like a little chibi style MMO, well, chibi style RPG of everything that went on in Kingdom Hearts for whatever reason. As well as another game that's basically a missing link, supposed to link in between the stories of whichever Kingdom Hearts games, like they did again with Chain of Memories, 35 Days Over 2, and anything else.
Alright, I'm gonna stop you there and just like, so as far as the linking games are concerned, like some of them are like straight bullshit because like they just don't need to be there and they just convolute the plot worse.
Yeah, tell me about it. People have the worst possible timing.
But the real meat and potatoes is the drop for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Hold on for like 2 seconds.
Okay. So are you excited about Kingdom Hearts 4 or no?
And I've returned.
Yay!
Dash, you trying to corrupt my chat over there?
A little bit. You gotta test them out, see how good they are.
Stop that, DOS.
Doing fine. Thank you, dear. Anyway, so I would say for the Kingdom Hearts 4 thing, the new engine they got, like, straight up makes Sora look like somebody falling out of like Kingdom Hearts 14 or whatever it is, the one with the car.
Oh, the road trip Final Fantasy.
Yeah. That's like Kingdom Hearts again. Anyway, I know what I meant. After about a decade of Kingdom Hearts, after
Dream Drop Distance.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
The feeling is meh.
Yeah, it's another linking story of Kingdom Hearts focusing on the characters who are not Sora, Riku, or Kairi, or whatever fucking name was.
It's Kairi.
Yeah. It's literally just some linking game, because I know Chain of Memories was for Riku specifically.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, you say that, it's like, the plots really kind of take a back burner to everything else. Like, it's more about, like, forcing as many, like, Disney cameos and Final Fantasy cameos in there as possible. It's like, that is the story.
I mean, they do operate in the same universe, but not exactly a one-for-one. They're, like, right next door. They're probably on, like, just on the sidebar looking in at each other.
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of see that. It's kind of like the multiverse thing, you know, where it's like, you know, they're neighboring realities.
Yeah, the Marvel multiverse nonsense. Speaking of multiverse madness, I'm gonna see that movie with Strange. I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, you're gonna, like, I was gonna say you're gonna have to, but, I mean, To me, it's a Marvel movie, so it's like in my head, it is like kind of has to kind of thing.
Well, because it links in with Marvel's What If.
Well, that's what I've heard. That they're bringing in elements of What If into that whole thing. But I've heard a lot of things that are going into that movie. Supposedly, Nick Cage has been told that he's been cast in the movie.
Yeah, it's Ghost Rider again. I just hear. I suddenly heard the cries up of 1,000 jack-o'-lanterns. Suddenly, just be sad
and weep.
Suddenly, the cries of 1,000 jack-o'-lanterns were just suddenly silenced as they wept silently into the Halloween night.
Why would you do this? But then again, it's like that. Oh yeah, I would get it in the one sense too, where it's like, you know, they're trying to make a whole bunch of shit like fit together.
Johnny Blaze rides again.
It's the only way to bring back Johnny Blaze. Ghost Rider. No, it's not. Get out of here with your lies, Dio.
Unless they're gonna do another retelling of the Ghost Rider.
Who do you have to? I mean, they did that. They did it with Spider-Man. Like, they still haven't even told us how this Spider-Man worked.
He was bitten by a radioactive spider. The end.
Well, yeah, and they've alluded to it a few times, and that's it. So, no, I do not agree with that argument. If they can make, you know, this Tom Holland Spider-Man work without really going into his backstory, then so much more power to him, you know?
I mean, they just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, here's Peter Parker, he's Spider-Man, the end. Moving on, skipping stuff.
Oh, they did.
I mean, this is like the third Spider-Man movie that they did. I thought it was Clark. I fucked myself up. I thought it was Clark because I play that team so fucking much. I'm paying for it. All right.
The two of them where it actually happened. Yeah, no. And like, that's kind of the point, I guess, is like, you know, we already have a movie that kind of establishes how it works, so like, you really don't need to go into the backstory for it.
Again.
Yeah.
For the third time.
Did you really want to say another? No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know how it fucking played out, so it's like, yeah, there's really not that much to tell, unless you're adding some kind of new spin to the story. Now, like with Ghost Rider, I could see them doing another origin story, because they've only done an origin once with him. You know, if anything, I would say they could do it just to clean up that origin story. Yeah, you ain't wrong, man. It's like, God, how many times have we seen fucking, like, Martha and Thomas Wayne get gunned down?
My parents are dead!
Why did you say that name?
I am vengeance! I am the knight! I am Batman!
Well, and speaking of that, I suppose I can actually talk about the Batman now.
Do it, I don't care.
Yeah, anyway. So, like, some fun theories have been floating around for that, in that, since this is such an early iteration of Batman, it's like, you know, he doesn't introduce himself as Batman yet. He basically introduces himself as Vengeance. Yeah. Which, you know, as soon as I heard that the first time, I was like, alright, Ghost Rider, God, I missed you.
Careful with those words there, Dawes. He may suddenly get cast as Ghost Rider. Then you really have something to probably worry about.
To be fair, like, you know, Robert Pattinson, or whatever his name is, he actually did not do a bad job. I still would rank him as, like, my third favorite Batman movie. Yeah, you're not wrong. And again, like, the story was solid, although it's weird in some senses because, like, this movie has almost like a fourth act, and it's like kind of tacked on at the end, so it's a little weird. So, in the context of, alright, so this, in the context of the story, what happens is,
here it is,
that, the guy, Batman's chasing the Riddler, there's mob dealing, blah blah blah. Anyway, Riddler ends up, like, shooting Falcone and goes to prison. And they catch him, obviously. But that was part of the plan from the get-go, which kind of creates this fourth act, because, like, the villain has already been caught and secured and is in prison at this point when the fucking, when the fourth act really kicks off. And the fourth act is, like, Riddler set a bomb along the dam to the city, and it's going to sink, like, half of Gotham.
Select order.
Jeez, how often are we going to hear that plot?
I mean, to be fair, I think that's the first time I've ever heard of anybody sinking Gotham.
How much DC media do you look through?
Not a lot. Like,
okay,
I watch a little Batman every now and then. That's about it.
Okay, proceeding. Not gonna push this subject any more than it needs to.
Oh, it's horrible. I've just been assaulted by a cider.
Why have you been assaulted by a cider? Do I need to call 911?
Yes, and find whoever fucking thought this was a good idea.
Okay, what kind of cider is it?
Peach mango.
Normally peach mango's okay for a juice, but never really a cider, from what I've been told.
Angry Orchard hard fruit cider.
And that's where you fail, Angry Orchard.
I like Angry Orchard generally.
Well, me working at a liquor store.
That is so terrible. Anyway, getting back on topic for a little bit. I'm sorry that sheer assault of peach mango nastiness just hit me. So it struck me, man.
Yeah, because peach mango is usually good for cider, smoothie, well, smoothies, juices, and that's about it. Sometimes candy, depending on what it is, but.
Yeah, no, like, this is all the wrong parts of peach mango.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, like I said, getting back on topic. Alright, so yeah, no, I don't follow a whole lot of DC. Most people I don't care for DC.
Marvel. It's Marvel, baby!
What are you talking about? This peach mango cider is the tits. Man, if you were drinking this, you would. I hope you would agree with me.
I know where you're going with Angry Orchard peach. Well, Angry Orchard has hit or miss kind of flavors.
Yeah, I mean, I like the green apple Granny Smith. Oh, I did drink it.
Well, there you go.
Well, maybe I'm getting a bad batch. This is not good, in my opinion. It's kind of like a sweet rosé. That's honestly what it reminds me of.
Yeah, because I've tried that when I was at the liquor store, and like I said, Angry Orchard's it's hit or miss, depending on which ones you go for.
Man, what is it? I like the green apple ones. Those are my favorites. The cherry one or something like that? That doesn't sound like that. Anyway, no, that's it here. So, what are you referencing when you talk about, like, Gotham getting a song? Because, again, that's the first time I've ever heard that kind of storyline.
Well, that's why I asked, how much DC media are you used to? Because, like, there's comic books, the comic book media, the animated series, and whatever media they do.
I've seen all of the TAS.
No, the Batman TAS doesn't really cover most of their villains, like, trying to sink Gotham for whatever reason. Because I know when they do insert whatever someone else's villain for whatever reason, because I know King Shark and Black Manta are Aquaman villains, and there was one time they were teaming up with other villains from wherever, and I know one of them was a King Croc. Basically talked about sinking Gotham at one point.
Yeah, no, again, that's still the first time I've ever heard of it.
As well as, like, depending on what animated Batman movie you want to go with.
Well, I've seen Mask of the Phantasm, I've seen the Sub-Zero one.
That's it? Just those two?
Well, technically those two are part of the actual, like,
canon
Batman
of the
canon.
Legitimate Batman canon compared to most other things. Yeah, I fully
Return
understand.
of the Joker, but that's technically an extension down the line with Batman Beyond.
I like that movie. It brought back Mark Hamill as Joker. Like, you can't just have animated Batman without Mark Hamill as Joker. As much as he kind of detests that role, he knows he has fun with it.
Oh yeah. Well, you can see how much that role like really kind of influenced him, because like he uses that voice for any kind of mad criminal all the time. I mean,
yeah, you hear
He-Man.
Yeah, like every time. Also, we got story going on that we already seen multiple times before, and as much as I'd like seeing Dolores, skip. Later. Yeah, because Mark Hamill as Joker is like, I can't not see him as Joker. Even like anytime they reboot a Batman series and they have Joker, like if it's not Mark Hamill, he's not my Joker.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the things from the go on.
Yeah, because I know when Batman makes the Turtles, TMNT, so like it's still Mark Hamill as Joker. Like, you're like, yeah, and he's more of a slithering snake than he usually is. Like, that's kind of hilarious. That makes me laugh more than because, wow, Joker's outsize matches his insides finally. He feels complete. And then the Joker laugh like, oh my god, yes.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Joker laugh, because I mean, even the iconic one from Mask of the Phantasm. Oh my god, that's like the best fucking Joker laugh. But I agree with you. Hamill is my Joker. Ledger comes in a very close second, but that's only because like,
yeah.
Well, that's only because like he only had one shot at the role.
That is very true.
Jared Leto, best Joker laugh. Can't change my mind.
Really?
That is a bold statement on the internet, good sir.
Okay, so this guy's J&G Automation. This guy, him. You see him right there in my chat. Go after him, people. That's the person you need to beat up. You heard him. He said fight you. He wants to be fought. You heard him. He said fight me, bro.
I did hear, what was it? That particular Joker got a somewhat redeeming arc in Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see it either, so I cannot deny or confirm that.
Fuck.
But wrapping back around to the Batman, there is a Joker in the Batman. You don't see him, but he is a Joker. And apparently it's the same one from Gotham, which I was not familiar with either.
I mean, I've not seen, because like the first Riddler I've only seen was the Jim Carrey one, Batman Forever. Cause like I know that version of
Riddler.
Yeah, that's what I said, Riddler.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was still talking Joker, but carry on.
Because we are still talking about the Batman.
Yes. I was saying there is a Joker in there, yes.
Yeah, but which is nice and all. We probably don't get to see him and all, and as
you
much.
don't see him in full glory, no.
Yeah, because I know it's supposed to be about the Riddler, and Jim. Like, I haven't seen that movie, but you know, Jim Carrey is still kind of a good Riddler. He catches the, let me finish, sir, before you cut me off. Like, Jim Carrey's a good Riddler when he does when he's willing to put, like, oh, I'm about to do these weird ass cartoony contraptions. That just basically just sounds like, oh, this is a nostalgic Riddler from Batman TAS. I'm gonna do some goofy crap just to screw with you, because that's really what the material that they had to go by.
No, okay, no, I'm gonna have to stop you there. I'm allowed to speak to peace, but I see what you're saying, but you're saying it wrong, is the best way I can say it. So, what you're talking about is like, an extension or future update of like an older Riddler, and it's like, I see what you're going with on that one, but if you're gonna go that way, I would not do TAS Super.
Well,
where I would go actually would probably be Adam West fucking Riddler.
oh, you see, now you're getting nasty. Want to get goofy with the real Riddler?
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, if you want to talk about like an update future version of it, it's like that would probably be what that would turn into. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. But like, you know, gotta remember, for the time it was before they tried to do like, oh, I'm gonna do a nitty-gritty Batman. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, Neil's on board with me because he just did the same thing.
I fucking missed that. I'm upset. Ah, boo! I got the bullshit. I got the counter and it didn't follow through. Damn it.
Yeah, no, like fucking Riddler just felt out of place that entire movie. Fucking, and I'm talking more for Batman and Forever specifically.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Well, like, he didn't have the menace of the TAS, and that was what my problem with that one was. Like, I remember the one episode that always kind of stuck in my head as like Riddler's episode, if you will, was the one where he got trapped in a VR simulation with the Riddler. And Batman had to go in there and save Gordon.
Wait, what? Excuse me?
Alright, in the Batman TAS, there's an episode where the Riddler creates a VR world and traps Gordon inside. And Batman has to go into the VR world and save Gordon from this labyrinth of riddles and tricks.
That's... I must have missed that episode, or generally just don't remember. But I'll take your word for it.
Well, like, the big hallmark of it is, like, it had a flying hand, if memory serves. And, like, Batman had to...
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Batman had to reprogram the damn thing. Like, literally, Batman cheated the whole game and won.
Batman knows cheat codes.
And the Minotaur. Yeah, and the Minotaur.
Okay, now we're speaking the same language. Like, it's like, had to stop and like, yeah. Stop and try to put 2 and 2 to make 4 here. Fucking, what was Boom
That's
Strike?
iconic Riddler there, because, like, he was fucking just menacing in that episode to me, so. Now, like, flash forward back to our conversation with the Batman. Like, you know, how would you compare that against, like, this one?
Well, yeah, how would you compare it? I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's fine. So, like, this Riddler, like, he doesn't quite have the same menace to him, whereas, like, you know, you could definitely see the knives coming out from him. Like, this one is, like, you know, trying to put this in proper context. Like, outside of the mask, he's much weaker, kind of thing. He's almost frail. I mean, in the movie, he's an accountant, basically. But, you know, like, when he gets on his tirade, like, you can see, like, the insanity bubbling under the fucking surface, basically. Paul and Tim actually had trouble handling the... Yeah, no, I heard about that. The Riddler was such a complicated character that he was very hard to write for. So that's actually why Riddler only shows up in like 13 episodes.
I mean, it's not like they were going to do another Riddler Two-Face movie like they did in Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Because I know when they... fuck.
Like, if you're talking like a Mad Riddler, like, this is actually a very good Mad Riddler, if you will. But I don't know if I would actually, like, count it as, like, menacing. Like, I never felt, like, truly threatened in his presence, you know what I mean? Like, but the thing, that's not really his stick, though. Like, he was menacing from the mind. And, unfortunately, Batman Year One is not a great detective.
I mean, hey, it's his first day it's his first time on the job. He has to learn.
You're not wrong, and that's kind of the point of the movie. And even Riddler calls him out, but he's kind of a crap detective, aren't you?
Yeah, because this is another Batman reboot.
To be fair, it's not a bad reboot. Like, again, fucking, a lot of people very, like, speculative about how, oh, what's his face? I said his name earlier. The guy from Twilight, and I hate that I'm saying that.
Oh.
But he...
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
No, again, like that... It's not a mark against it, it's just how I remember him.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but the movie franchise he was in was just... Yeah.
Yeah, but again, anyway, getting back to it, it's like, he actually did a pretty solid job in the role. It's like, you could see where, like, he was ignorant because he was, like, a year one Batman, but you could see, like, the wings of change in him kind of thing, where he was growing and becoming the actual avatar of Batman.
Becoming Vengeance, the Night.
There we go. Thank you.
Becoming Batman!
Yeah. Well, like I said, he's past year one, technically. Like, technically, I think they said he was, like, year two of Batman. So it's still, quote-unquote, year one, if you will. Like, it's drawing a lot from that fucking comic.
He still has his bit of training wheels on, because he's still kind of learning.
Basically. But he does a really good job at, like, portraying both sides of the equation. And it's a very different Batman. Like, this is not confident Batman. This is not fucking seasoned Batman. You know, this is a very raw Batman, basically. You know, and even Kevin Conroy, like, he never did it in the suit, basically. He did all the voice work. And still, Batman fucking, that's one of my fucking go-to Batman examples. There is some weird shit though in that movie too, like, so Batman records everything through his eyes. Like, he's wearing contact lenses the entire time he's doing all this shit. And in the back of my mind, it's like, I'm just like listening to this, like, you're telling me Batman, who gets into fist fights literally every time he goes out, sometimes multiple times a night, never had a problem with a contact lens?
Yeah, because I understand him recording through his cowl or whatever. His whatever HUD he has. But yeah, contact lenses. That's just lazy.
It's how the movie's set up. I mean, I guess I get it. They needed some kind of excuse to make it work, but I don't know, man. Contact lenses, I'm not buying that one.
Yeah, I know
he's super rich, but still.
Like, that's just kind of lazy writing. The hell, when he had Morgan Freeman playing Fox to help him to do basically the guy giving him his weapons and armor and stuff, at least that made sense, because it's like, oh, this is our wing tech blah 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 explanation. You don't really plan to do something bad with this, sir. Oh, you know, I'm just gonna drive it around, see how the suspension is. Like, okay, at least that makes sense, because that's just him talking about the Batmobile, the suits and whatever and blah blah blah. And unlike Alfred, the man behind the curtain does like all the work.
Yeah. You on trying out outfit jokes. Well, again, like, this really wasn't an outfit thing. Like, the contact lenses themselves were clear, and they just kind of, like, literally, like, recorded everything. Don't ask me how, they just did. They magic. Again, it's a comic book movie. I'm not, like, stressing about that too hard. The part I do stress out is, like, yeah, it's like, I don't know about the contact lenses part, because, again, like, I have a hard time imagining somebody who's getting in fist fights every day doesn't have contact lens problems. Spider-Man looks like a pajamas. You're not wrong, dude. I get that. And I'm not trying to be critical about the idea of the contact lens. That's not what I have a problem with. It's more the idea is, like, the contact lens combined with what he does.
Basically goes into a fight, throws some fists. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure your contact got knocked out of your eye somewhere back there.
Yeah.
Or something.
Like, I'm sure there's tech that could probably mimic something like that, but you'd have to fucking treat it and fucking very carefully kind of deal. But again, it was an excuse for the writers to sit there and say it's like, oh well, he recorded everything he saw. And he's like, all right, fine. It seems a little hokey and weird, but fine, I'll let it slide. I just feel they could have handled that better, that's it. But I agree, it's like, you know, something as simple as, like, you know, a camera and a cowl or something like that. That's all you need. That's why I was all field testing. He got better shit there, so that's fair.
Well, yeah, he's not wrong. Field testing stuff to make sure it works properly, even though if it's just a prototype, get the better shit later versus trying to workshop everything for eternity.
No, again, I get that. I think it could have been done better, but I mean, if that's where they're gonna go, and it's like, oh, we started with this and got better later. All right, fine. Then I'll accept that it's payoff in the end, but that implies they're gonna pay it off in the end. You know what I mean?
Yes, the entire payoff is that get fucked. The end. I am the Batman. The end. That is the payoff.
Right. Are you still in that first run? Oh, okay.
Wait, what? You looked away, didn't you?
You didn't already beat the boss, did you?
No, I'm not. No, I haven't yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, you're on grand final. Okay.
Yeah, I'm literally at the grand finals. Fight these guys. Yeah. Move on next thing.
No, I thought you already fought the one chick. The
Edgelord.
No, the aerial Wolverine.
The Edgelord.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't do one draft in the call of day. You draft him with. I mean, again, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, how many times have you gone through the draft of the Das Wiggles character before you got to your final product?
Well, actually, fucking Das Wiggles is a character, and I'm more talking about the mindset and how he looks. And a lot of that was like probably about second draft kind of thing. Like, you can say fucking Guitar Hero and it's fucking nice fucking customization options.
I mean, yeah. Alright, I can let that go. Character design wise, if you play enough games that it has character customizations, a lot of stuff can be, workshopped a lot.
How many traps do you think Black Wolf Theater? Oh, I don't know. You want to get into that, man? It's like, you got life and death and rebirth in that one. It's like,
yeah. Yeah, he's got you there. You got life, death, and rebirth as a concept in yours. So that's a whole different kind of thing to worry about.
Well, not to mention, like, honestly, the one that gets most of the revision so far is Loki, to be honest with you, because, like, it's hard to, like, pin down a truly unique character in that ideology for me. Like, because I see him as, like, combination of several characters to me. Somewhere between like Knives and I can feel like Frieza influences in him kind of thing, and all sorts of shit.
That's very true. Hell, I think I've already told you this before, because Tobias originally started as I'm air quoting this, the dark and the antagonist. He was originally villain, straight up villain of my actual story. But that's basically, I still use the original concept for alternate timeline before, things got fixed. I still kept that in there. At least, just a little flavor text of where this came from. Or why he is the way he, or why he is now. They're like, oh, he's the villain, but he kind of he grew tired of being the villain. Like, I'm doing other shit now with my life.
Redraft the kind of deal, man. I stole PP and Jew about 4 times. Oh, I redraft situations all the time. It's like, because like, I can see things where it's like, it'd be better to go this direction than that on characters.
Right.
The Dermest actually went through probably I'd say about 10 iterations before I finally came up with an idea of how I wanted them to be designed.
Yeah, because designing characters is a bit you gotta make sure it feels right for you versus it looks like you're just throwing dartboards at a thing. Well, throwing darts at a dartboard. The dartboard character design.
Well, DOS was fairly easy to come up with, to be honest with you, because again, it was just in a broader spectrum. Like, DOS is more or less a reflection of my own identity. It's things that it's like, it's the way I describe it is like it's myself in an unchecked state.
Who's going to take the win?
It's an existence without the consequences of everything that comes from being moral.
Nice reference, it's me.
know, and then, like, but then it was like, you know, flip your person around a few bit and you get into other characters like Scavenger. Scavenger went through about, like, full designs for like half. Well, I'd say designs, but it's more like narrative designs. Like, I knew I wanted somebody like Scavenger in my little, like, circle of, like,
All eyes are on the winner of that fierce
compatriots,
if you will.
compatriots.
It's not just like one side of the fence or the other. It's like in my characters, if you will.
Ah.
Yeah. Like, I wanted someone like Scavenger because I thought it was an interesting idea, and then it's like, you know, his narrative came later, basically. Like, the narrative took me probably about 4 or 5 times to get about right.
Okay. Because with me coming up with character and their narratives, it's easier to come up with the narrative of whom they are than what they essentially look like and what they do.
Well,
for me anyway.
No, sometimes I'll have, like, how a character looks, like, locked down in my head from the get-go. And then I get to how he looks like that later. Other times it's the exact same thing that you just said. Like, I'll come up with a narrative first, and then how they look comes second.
Yeah. Because I usually end up doing that a lot. It's like, oh yeah, here's how this character is their narrative. But how they look is like, let me get back to you on that. Because my bane is character creation. Because I like this, but I don't like this idea. I at least try to keep their look reliable to the narrative of whom and what they are. Because Aurora went through like a shit ton of multiple changes. Because of like the whole Nephilim thing, that kind of keeps throwing me off. Like, oh right, she is this thing specifically.
Yeah. I had to redo Jude from scratch. Drafting is just a design practice and comes in narrative and visuals. Yeah, I know, that's about right.
I'm using the art of fighting team and we're talking about the art of characters.
Yeah, weird how the fucking styles mimic. Give me that sip.
I don't want it.
Anyway, like Snakebite and Loki specifically, both of them, like I have a functional idea on like how most of their shit works. It's just, you know, how they actually work, especially Loki. Loki's even worse about this. Like, I don't have a defining like idea how they look. Mercy, on the other hand, like, she's almost my backwards problem. So I have an intense idea of how she looks.
Oh shit.
As far as her character though, it's like, you know, she's more of a mute, and she doesn't talk a lot, but she has trigger words that send her into a fucking warpath.
Literally, one of them being Mercy.
Yeah, so that's kind of its thing too. I got an idea for what her narrative would be, but it's like, you know, it's still not hammered out perfectly. Loki, that's right. That was forever the shadow in the back of your mind. Well, and even going into that, like Hans fucking went through a shit ton of redesigns before I finally found one. I was like, I like this. Keep this.
I mean, we did spend a couple of times working on the Pumpkinaut.
Yeah, and like, you know, like the Pumpkinaut was just a fucking joke character I made, and then it fucking was like, well, wait, I can actually do something with this.
Yeah, with him being the husk of Das Wizzle's original body, wanting his other half to be back together so they can just die and stay dead. We're not supposed to be alive. We both belong dead.
You're a blight on reality.
I cannot rest peacefully in my grave knowing that my other half is still roaming around.
Well, it's not so much like can't rest peacefully, it's like, you know, it's more like desiring oblivion kind of thing, because he's forced to keep living. It's not so much about halves. It really isn't. But yeah, he does refer to it that way.
Yeah. Two halves of the same whole. They both desire death, but how they want to go out is usually up for, they both desire their own death, but the problem is, both of which are not satisfied of with the other's resolve.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's like, you know, DOS has tried to die several times and won't. Fucking Pumpkinaut just wants to die and can't.
Like, come on, man, you holding me up here. I want to just lay down and sleep in our grave. No! Loki must pay! Can't you let somebody else do it? No! I refuse!
Who else is gonna do it? Well, another thing with Pumpkinaut too, though, is like, he doesn't really talk that much, and when he does, it's kind of broken. Because, again, most of his mentality is gone.
I mean, most of DOS's mentality is gone too, but sure.
No, he has too much mentality, and that's the problem.
He has 90% of the mentality versus Pumpkinaut, who has 10% of the mentality. They both can share the 100%, but the problem is, one's a little bit crazier than the other, and the problem is it's a vicious cycle.
Well, I would say, yeah, and Pumpkinaut got like 10% of himself left, if you will, mental-wise. I'm just going by the numbers you just kicked out, just to be clear.
Yep.
But when I originally created Pumpkinaut, that's one of the reasons he didn't have a mouth, because he couldn't really talk that well. Whereas DOS, by your own rubric in that sense, is like, he actually has spoken to probably about, 190 in that personality, because he's dealing with Hans in the fucking passenger seat.
Hans over there backseat driving and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Ow.
Yeah, so it's like, you got 3 entities split between 2 bodies.
I mean, Hans was just added in for flavor text, and then Hans was like, bitch, I am driving now. Look at me, I am the pumpkin now.
I had to recontextualize Dueling and DOS having an eventual fight, and I sort of was like, yeah, no, I remember seeing that, and fucking was like, you did a fucking great job on that, dude.
Damn it. Oh shit, teleporter. Ow. That one I deserve.
It's always the worst when you know you deserve it.
True. Damn it, you pixel health having fucking... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was like, okay, next phase. I backed off like, nope, magic pixel. I'm going to be dealing with this today. Okay. Cool.
What do you mean? Didn't according to the fasting intro you do?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh. It's still a fireball.
I mean, I can't remember freaking King's fireball. I was trying fucking hard to throw that shit. Wrong thing. Fuck.
Sweet mode activated.
Oh, fuck you. Those weird crystal things explode and I hate it. No, I'm more saying like, hey, magic pixel. Shit. Z had this weird split. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna focus on Goku, but here's some cooldown episodes that people are just gonna call filler. Some of them were legitimate filler because, Goku's not there.
Well, I mean, the driving episode is everybody's go-to example.
As much as people want to go for like a bullshit episode, that driving episode is canon. Piccolo does have an actual driver's license.
Oh, I'm not saying it was bullshit, honestly.
No, it's hilarious how people say, oh, that's just a bullshit non-canon episode. Like, no, it's canon. Piccolo has a legitimate driver's license. That's the hilarious part. People like, he probably still has those clothes, I bet. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Because I know in the Dragon Ball superhero movie, the Piccolo has a house now.
Yeah, I heard about that. And like, apparently it's going to be shown off in the new season of Super.
Yeah, the reason why... Okay, and here's the reason why he has a house now. Is because he's babysitting Pan. Most of the time.
About right.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
his illegitimate granddaughter he's babysitting. That's why he has the house, and like he does it kind of like, you know, it would be kind of smart if he had a house instead of like, oh, we're just gonna hang out at the lookout the entire time with this toddler.
Although, to be fair, the best one I saw here lately was, it's Gohan fucking giving out a Father of the Year award, and he's like, and I'd like to thank my father who got me here. You see Goku stuff?
Sit the fuck down! Sit the fuck down, Dad! I'm talking about Piccolo! And then I just see Vegeta next to him just laughing.
Yo. And that's how Vector Man died. The end. Oh, that's really Vector Man. Oh. Vector Man couldn't die because he never lived, technically.
Like us, you never truly lived.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
Come on, Robert! Fuck!
But being Vector Man was just a robot from the get-go kind of thing, and like most of humanity was wiped out, and the only thing left was fucking like Vector Man robots and shit like that. So.
Oh shit, wrong move. I threw the Shoryuken. I'm like, no, Hadouken. He's a Shoto. I'm like, oh god. like don't want to like accidental uppercut. The accidental uppercut scared me. Like, if she walked into it.
Hey, sometimes you get lucky, man.
I'm like, I was kind of hoping she'd walked into it because, like, oh no.
Sega. Nintendo. Hey, we got a hero who's an Italian plumber. Sega. Robot Garbage Man. You're not wrong. That is Vector Man.
I'm here to take out the trash.
Well, okay. So I don't know how deep into a Vector. Well, actually, no. I'll get into this after like the cutscenes and stuff like that.
Oh, the thing? You mean the thing that we can actually skip?
Yeah, just don't skip the next one. Team Arca fighting. I need to go for some fucking like Korean barbecue. That sounds amazing right now.
Oh god, shut up. I drove past a Korean barbecue place on my way home from the store.
They're so good though.
I know. Like everyone you see in this cutscene, they are technically part of the Art of Fighting team and roster. I know the dude with the pompadour made a debut in a different game, in another King of Fighters game, with the guy that was serving them the food, which is Ryo and Yuri's dad.
Okay.
But he was disguised as someone wearing a Tengu mask. He went by Mr. Karate, and he just really went there just to beat the crap out of his kids.
That sounds like fucking what is it? Roshi, whenever he fucking did the
Jackie Chun character.
Yeah, the Jackie Chun character.
And here comes Dio correcting me. Psst, wrong. But I know I'm wrong saying that, but he entered the tournament at one point to test his students, basically Ryo, Yuri, Robert, and they already knew it was him. And him just playing the role like, you do not know who I am. Yes, we do.
Well, it's kind of like even Gohan sit there and is like, oh, it's Master Roshi. I'm not Master Roshi. He's a Hyugan student that produced in the Mark of the Wolves. Yes, hasn't been in a KOF tournament.
I was talking about the guy with the pompadour.
He's been in the background a few times though.
I'm kind of figure what's going on. Because I'm trying to assume Rio finally popped the question to King NASCAR to marry him. Oh god, no, the Mr. Karate mask. Oh no. Yeah, I know, not even close.
I'm trying to fucking figure out what the fuck's going on too.
Rio being dumb.
Just hold on.
Dio at table 5.
Bad. Go on.
I know, I'm just reading the chat like Dio over there at table 5.
Too bad the whole time I was just like, God, fucking Korean barbecue still sounds really good.
Shut up, Shut up, Das.
Can I get a sake over here? Das at table 2.
Thing is kind of the only good thing about living in the South. There's barbecue aplenty.
Well, okay, yeah, there's barbecue aplenty, but there's not Korean barbecue aplenty.
Well, depends on where you go. Well, there's barbecue aplenty, like different various barbecue shops to go to. Hell, Korean barbecues down. I think there's one down in my area. Yeah, there is one down over here in my area as well.
Mm-hmm. Because I like Korean barbecue because literally you can cook it at the table. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oi, Ryo. いつになったら修行場に着くんや。
お父さんは熊を追いかけてどこか行っちゃうし。あれ？ここ3日前にも通ったような。
これも修行だ。極限ファイト。
ファイト。